Hello, everybody. It's wonderful to be back and do another psychic reading session for you. So, what this is a Q&A. Everybody who is here can put a question in the chat, and I will scan the energy, and then we'll let you know what I pick up in the energy. Now, what I'm using is I'm using the Theta Healing technique, and I connect to source energy from that with your permission, because when you put a question in the chat or when you submit a question through the form, which you can find below this video, when you submit a question through the form or in the chat, you give your permission basically for me to scan your energy, and I will just convey to you what I pick up in your energy. Does that mean it's the highest truth? No. What is really, really important here when you do any type of spiritual work or psychic readings is when you receive the answers, when you listen to the answers. And this can be one of your questions, or it can be an answer on a question from somebody else. That can be as powerful. Really connect to it, feel into it, and listen to yourself. Does it resonate? If it doesn't resonate for you, let it go, let it be. Don't give it any power or meaning. If it resonates, then take it on board and empower yourself that way. So make sure, no matter what kind of spiritual work you do or whoever is channeling things for you, always keep your own power. Listen to your own intuition. Feel if it resonates. And from that place, you act. Yeah? Okay. We've had some questions in the form, so we're going to start with the chat. So if you are here live and you'd like to ask a question, put it in the chat. And yeah, let's see. Let's get started. So, Kristen, if you have a question, wonderful that you're here. If you have a question, then put it in the chat. Then we're going to go to Alice. So, Alice, hi. My boyfriend is buying a house for us, but the sellers are so slow responding. We finally got agreement on the offer, but when will all signatures be in so it's 100% sure? Anything we can do? Let me have a look into the energy. Okay, Alice, what I pick up on the energy here is that what I get very strongly through is like, this is a process of patience. And it feels like one of the virtues you're really learning, and this is a process of, is this patience virtue, and is the trust. What's important here is to really set your intention in terms, like, there's a reason why everything is so delayed, why everything takes like a very long time. And it's really like that can also work for you. Like in our heads, we might want to move in as quickly, we might want to have that security or certainty, but there are bigger things going on in an energetic perspective behind the scenes, and it needs a little bit of time to resolve. Right. What I very clearly hear is there's no need to rush here. Allow the time that it will take, because that will work to your benefit. Give it the time that it needs. Don't push. Don't worry. Allow it to unfold when the time is right. Okay, and this is particularly important. Like, even if this, like, if you're watching and this was not your question, there's a lot of energy shifting, a lot of energy upgrade, and we are entering like a huge amount of very speedy energy, shifting energy, and it can really feel like unsettling, unbalanced. Some of you will thrive, bigger changes, but every time you kind of need to, your energy field needs to rebalance with the energy field of the collective. and the bigger shifts that are happening. So people can be much more tired, needs way more rest than they think they need. They think they have rested, they probably need at least 5 times more. And it's also like every time you are upgrading in your energy, your spiritual energy is changing, and it kind of is realigning with the bigger shifts that are going on. So for you and for this entire process, allow it to unfold. When you allow it to unfold, it will really work out for you the way it's meant to work out. If you're trying to mingle or push or pull this process, it's going to be a little bit more challenging, and it will take even longer. I hope that helps. But in general, it will work out. It will work out. Just give it a little bit of time. Okay. Sweet Fairyish. Hi, I'm Sanja. I submitted a question via the form. Let's have a quick look. Okay, the question is, what do I need to know about my future career, please? Haven't worked for a while to focus on my health. I feel drawn to work for myself in the healing wellness field after I have healed fully. Thanks. Okay, let me have a look for you. Okay, on some level, it feels like there's a subconscious sabotage around activating your career again. And there's a huge amount of pressure that you put on yourself. It's almost like, if I start my career, it has to be perfect. If I start my career, I have to perform. And you're putting the bar like really, really high for yourself. And it's almost like, because you put the bar so high for yourself, it becomes much more difficult to get it started. So what I'm getting from creator here is, how can you reduce that bar? How can you reduce your expectation of outcomes? And how can you start acting from a place of excitement? Meaning, if you really feel drawn to that healing, energy, wellness space, why don't you go and play with that? And from that playful energy, you can start helping people. You can start empowering people. You can grow yourself in your own energy. And that will make it a lot easier for you. One of the things that is very clear here is, let go of the expectation of what the outcome needs to be. When you let go of the expectation that you set for yourself and approach it from a place of joy, from a place of let's just do this, or let's just do that, have some fun with it will unfold a lot easier for you. And you're actually going to be very powerful then with helping people. I hope that helps you. And that's for a lot of us, right? What I also do here is use the power of intention. The more clear you are on your intentions, so you can set an intention of what you'd like things to be, but then you still let go of the expectation of what the outcome has to be. Does that make sense? The difference between intention and the expected outcome is like, you can, with the intention, you're steering your energy into a certain direction where you'd like to go. But then the expectation is it has to be this specific outcome, or it has to be in this specific framework. And that limits you. So set the intention, but let go of the outcome what it has to be. Okay. They're kindred souls. Hi, is there a significant romantic or platonic relationship unfolding for me this year? And how can I prepare myself to receive it consciously? Also, where should I intentionally place myself to cultivate friendships that are positive, growth-oriented, joyful, and aligned with my values? Okay, let me have a look for you. Okay. What I pick up from the energy is the most important relationship that is very important for you to work on and to care for and to pay attention to is actually the relationship towards yourself, the relationship with yourself. Um, how can you be more loving to yourself? How can you be more kind to yourself? How can you be more compassionate towards yourself while still holding yourself accountable for some things that you're meant to do or that you should do without setting unrealistic goals, without putting too much pressure on? It really feels like it's the relationship with yourself and finding a balance in life. Now, please be aware when you're working on the relationship with yourself, you don't have to do this alone. You can still connect with others and spend time with others and have beautiful connections, and others can help you in the relationship with yourself. So sometimes people think when they work on themselves or want to grow spiritually that they have to do it alone, and that's a misunderstanding. That's a misunderstanding. It's not needed to do it alone. We are here in communities and beautiful connections because we can support each other, we can connect with each other, we can be there for each other. Um, there's definitely a relationship, like in terms of a more romantic relationship possible for you, but you really need to feel into you. Is this what you want? Is this what you're ready for? Is this the right time for you? And if that is a yes, allow it in. If this is a I'm not sure, feel into it, what's underneath there. Where do you need to intentionally place yourself to cultivate this? Any place where you want to be, where you feel well, where you feel excited, where it feels like it flows for you. There's no one right or wrong place. It's where you intuitively are guided to, where you're excited, where you feel well, where the energy just flows. That's a good place for you. And you already know where that is. Okay, I hope that helped you. Okay, Alice, confirming what I indeed strongly feel. So much trust that we will get the house and that this happens for a reason. Yeah, I have no big impatience, just curiosity. Wonderful. And that's beautiful, right? A lot of you who are watching this have very good intuitions, kind of know the answers already, and you just want a kind of confirmation. And that's okay. But it also feels like you're allowed to trust your own feelings. You're allowed to trust your own intuition because you're being guided by your spiritual team. Okay. Emma. Hey, Susie. Emma here. I managed to join live. My question is on the forum too. Thank you. Okay, so the question is, hey Susie, I'm feeling resistant to spending money and making decisions. I've been doing belief work, but are there any deeper blocks creators suggest I work on to help me move forward? Thank you. Let me have a look for you, Emma. Okay, Emma, what I see for you is you're very much tapping into the collective, tapping into what's coming. And on some level, your energy is preparing for it. It's no need to be worried, but there's definitely going to be some bigger shifts. Or let me rephrase this. There's a high likelihood there's some bigger shifts financially in the financial world that is going to come. It's already starting, but it will out itself more in a couple of months down the line. And on some level, you're tapping into that energy. This can result in people having job losses, losing houses, or their place to live. And one of the things that is incredibly important in these situations is to go within, to let go of all the logical stuff that the mind is producing and really seek that intuitive guidance. Ask your spiritual team, go to creator energy, your source energy, your God energy, and really tap into that. And don't just take any answer that you get as the highest truth. Feel into it. Does it resonate? How do I feel with these things? Like, is it in balance or is it out of balance? This is like a practice thing, and the more you do it, um, the better you get at it. And this is for everybody, not just for Emma, because Emma, you are actually very much in tune with these things and you're doing it. For you specifically, I don't feel like there's a particular worry. Now there might some changes and some of them might unbalance a little bit, but over the whole, like, it feels really all right for you. But that's probably on some level why you feel a little bit more that you want to watch your pennies, and don't just be frivolous with spending money. Now there might be some investments or some expenditures you need to do, and you can do these and that will be fine, and you will feel very, like, you will feel which is right, what is right for you and what not. Like, so this is for everybody. Avoid frivolous spending. You might want to, like, make sure you have a bit of saving, you have a bit of cash money. Cash money is going to be helpful. You don't need huge amounts, but a bit of cash in the house would be helpful. Have some savings so you can, like, have a couple of months leeway in case there isn't some uncertainty or a job loss or something like that. These are just helpful things to have in place. I hope that helps you, Emma. And you also ask for some blocks there. In terms of beliefs for Theta Healing that you can look into, limiting beliefs, it's like you're almost like carrying the weight of the subconscious. And because you're picking it up so easily, that is fine. And it's okay to have the awareness, but you don't need to carry the weight or the responsibility of these awarenesses. And on some level, the energy wants to, or feels like it has to, or feels guilty if it doesn't. So look into that, why energetically you feel like you are responsible for that and need to carry that weight, and then you can release that. And that allows you to actually draw more financial abundance in. Okay. Let's have a look who's next. Okay, so Sweet Farius, thank you. Have huge expectations indeed, and I really want to succeed. The outcome is important. It's like there's no room for failure. We'll try to let go of the expectation. Thank you. Yeah, give it a go and make it more playful. It will be much more fun, and the outcomes will be better. Because a lot of the times when we are fixated on a certain outcome, we're not allowing the energy to really flow into the direction it's meant to go or it needs to go. And these outcomes, when we let go of the outcome, what can unfold can be way beyond what we could have imagined. And that's only possible when we let go of the outcome. But therefore, intention becomes more important. Okay. Their kindred soul, thanks, that did help. Wonderful, I'm pleased for that. Kristen, regarding our combined intention to change the world one person at a time, there is a palpable sense of a deep connection with creation. I feel very strong and we can see it clearly. Wonderful. Question: what do my next steps look like? I have trouble embodying my part. Okay, let me have a look for you, Kristen. Okay. Kristen, what I pick up in your energy, it feels like there's a little bit more flexibility needed. Sometimes some perspectives might be quite rigid. It has to be this way, or it has to be that way, or this is the way the world works. And it feels quite fixed. It needs to loosen up a little bit. There needs to be a little bit of flexibility in for you to actually raise your level of consciousness and move beyond what the current world is. Why? Because what we are consciously aware of is only a fraction of what is actually happening in the world, what's happening in the universe, what's happening, what is possible, what we are capable of, what our senses can see, sense, or hear, or feel. And when you let go and become a little bit more flexible of how the world works, and you allow for flexibility there, then different things can be shown to you that can then become higher truths. Because there's like a truth, and beyond that, there might be a higher truth. And when we evolve more, there might be a higher truth. And when we evolve more, there might be a higher truth. So every time we evolve and grow in our level of consciousness, we might discover a different truth. And that's what happens with science as well. Science says one moment this, and then they invent more things, they become aware of another thing, and then it becomes that. And then they invent more things, or they have another thing to become aware of, and then it becomes again a different truth. So for you, there is information that wants to be shared with you, but there is a need to let go of some of the ways you might see the world to allow new awarenesses in. And see if this resonates and if you're open for this. Be kind to yourself as well in this process. I've been going through a huge process myself in the last probably 9 months. A lot to do with extraterrestrial energy, a lot to do with star seeds. And if you have time today, I probably do a little channeling from them as well, because it's been amazing. But there's a lot of information that has come through that I would have never thought would have been possible or capable or existed. And I constantly need to let go of how I see the world in order to be open and receive that. Let me know if that makes any sense. Okay. Emma, thank you, Susie. It has felt quite heavy. So awareness that it's stepping into the collective awareness and carrying weight that isn't mine is really helpful. Thank you. I shall let it go. Thank you so much. You're very welcome, Emma. Okay, let's have a look to the other few questions that we have from the forum today. So we're going to start with Clara. I'm just going to pop that one in the chat. Okay, so Clara's question is, hey Susie, my question for today is how to manage or overcome overthinking mind. Why do I always think of the negative or a problem and spend time worrying and anxious? Why does my mind always look at a problem rather than being trusting and seeing the positive? Okay, let's have a look. Yeah. Okay. So, Clara, first of all, you're not alone in this. Many, many, many of us have this. And many of us have also been doing a lot of inner work to let go of this a little bit more. It's in society, we're almost trained to do it this way, to look at this way at the world, because some of the emotions like fear or anxiety or other emotions might like come up and almost like take over a little bit. It's also by what's also coming through is that this can happen when we give the logical mind too much responsibility. And it's not there to make decisions on everything. You have an intuition, and the intuition is to really guide you into a lot of directions and to steer you towards your next steps and what excites you in life. And that's almost like the compass on where to go. And then the logical mind comes in and it takes the beliefs and it rationalizes everything. And it kind of wants to take control because it can't necessarily see the perspective of the intuition and of the higher guidance that you're getting. And sometimes there's a bit of a lack of trust. So then it tries to grab on takes that control instead of surrendering, going into the trust, letting the intuition lead and guide. Does that make any sense? Yeah, so what is really helpful here, or what could be really helpful here, is doing some theta healing work, because theta healing can really help with identifying subconscious beliefs that are creating a lot of your reality and then shifting these into empowering beliefs. But that's not the only thing for you. What I also see for you, yes, do some theta healing work, but also it feels like you need to have some conversations with different aspects of you. Now I'm getting a vision of you just sitting down in a quiet space where you're alone and you can connect to creator, or you can connect also to like the different parts of your mind that do that, like overwhelming, overstaring, what is it, overthinking. Connect with them, like make yourself that part of who you are, expand out in it and observe, what are they going through, why are they behaving the way they are behaving, why do they feel so overwhelmed, what is happening that gets them into such an overwhelmed stage. So become that part and then observe, and the awarenesses that you will get will allow you to treat that part of you differently, so that it's not so overwhelmed, but it can remain balanced. You can have conversations with every organ of you, with every part of you, with every aspect of you. So if a certain part of you is out of balance or causing you difficulties, connect with it. And this is possible for everybody. Yeah. Do that. See how this works and let us know, because I think this can be incredibly powerful for you when you are open for it. And you can do this with the thinking mind or the overthinking mind. You can also do this with like the worrying part of you or the anxious part of you. And ask, why are they behaving this way? Why do they feel so anxious? What happens? What triggers that anxiety? You might find some beliefs, or you might find different awarenesses. That awareness allows you to shift it, and then you can make a different decision, which leads to different experiences and different outcomes. Yeah? Okay. You just get a drop of tea. Okay, then we do the question from India. Let me just clear my space again. Okay. I have had a knee injury for a year, which is hindering my quality of life. What is stopping this from healing? Hmm. It has to do with an uncertainty around moving forward, what the future might bring, how to deal with that potential future that's coming onto your path. And that can out itself in the knees and challenges with the knees. And there might be some fear for what's coming in the future. But for you, it doesn't necessarily feel like fear. It feels more like how to deal with the uncertainty, because I know uncertainty is coming. I don't know if you would say you are like an intuitive or spiritual person, but you're definitely picking up a lot of these energies around. And like you're very good in sensing things. You're very good at actually picking up on energies and what's coming. And I don't know if this is a conscious or a subconscious thing, but I just wanted to let you know that you actually are. And you can use this as a gift instead of see this as like an annoyance. Um, it is also knowing that you're not responsible for others. Now, others might go through a bit more uncertainty than you might do. Some of your loved ones might go through slightly more challenging times than they'd like to. Um, Would you like to know that you can care for others without having to take on their problems, their challenges, and without having to be impacted and without being impacted by their challenges and their problems? If you'd like that, I'd like to do a Theta Healing download for you. And anybody else would like that download as well, you can say yes. This also works when you watch the replay. Okay. Can I also do some downloads for you that what it feels like when the future holds good things? What it feels like, how to pick up and sense these good things and act from a place of excitement. Can the creator show you how to act upon your joy and your excitement, and that this is possible and allowed also when others might go through a bit more uncertainty or undesired situations? And can we complete any vows, oaths, energetic contracts that you have to be impacted by the challenges that others go through? Can we complete that now through the creator and release that from your energy field? And can we show you that you are allowed to shine, you're allowed to grow, you're allowed to be more and more of your authentic self, and what that feels like, and that it is safe for you? And that you can do this whenever the time feels right for you, without others around you, without being dependent on how others feel around you. Is that okay? Because for you, there's an entire period coming around who am I? Living more of your authenticity. And that is okay, that is allowed, that it is safe. And that is actually really exciting to be more of that. When you start living more of your authenticity, living more of who you truly are, you will see your new problems will start getting significantly less or completely resolved. There's no push, there's no pressure here. Go with your intuition, allow the energy flow to guide you to do it at the times that it feels right without force. There's no force needed. There is a desire for self-discovery needed. Yeah. And you will have that when you allow it. And you don't have to do it in a specific way. You can just do it in a way that feels right for you. Explore there. Okay. I hope that helped you. Okay. Let's have a look. Who's next? Ken. Okay, Ken, let's have a look. Hi, I've been working as a healer for many years, but somehow I feel like I'm no longer experiencing the same passion as before. What do you think might be happening? Okay, Ken. What do you think might be happening? Do you think that you might be guided into a slightly different path? That you have done your serving as a healer for the period that you've done it? And that there might be either a change in direction or like a tweak or adjustment in the way you do it or how you want to do it? Usually, when there's a lack of excitement, there's something that is being like that they want to convey to you. That the way that it's currently being done isn't the best way, the most efficient way, or the way for you anymore. And I do feel like there are other things that have come into your life. This is what I'm being shown, where you have way more passion for, that you're way more excited about. And follow that. Follow that. You can be abundant and make a living in many different ways. And you don't have to just be the healer that in the way you have been a healer for the last couple of years or the last period. You can generate plenty of abundance by going on to your next path. It feels like you're starting a new divine timing, a new area for you is opening up, and don't just jump. Like what I see actually quite clearly, don't just jump and leave everything behind. What would work a lot better for you is a gradual move. And what you will see is then maybe some of the things that you learn or become aware from things you're really excited about, you can start combining with some of the healing work you do. And that will bring back more excitement and more power and more, it has like this recharged energy then. And that would work also really, really well for you. So yes, you're picking up on it very well. Go into the directions you're feeling guided to go. I hope that helps. Okay. Susie, what a great idea for a platform. Thanks. You're welcome, Kristen. Hey, Joseph. Nice that you're here. If you have a question, put it in the chat. Okay, we have a question from Sparkles11. Hey, Susie, can I ask for a reading about my self-acceptance? I find it hard to know what the block is. Sure, we can do that. Okay, what I see in your energy is that there's like a little bit of fear of the potential impact or what it's going to unlock when you accept yourself more. So, what does that mean? It's almost like when you raise in your self-acceptance, when you accept yourself more, when you allow that energy to be there more, when you love yourself more and accept whatever happens, different things will unlock for you. More of your gifts will open up. More of your powers will open up. And there's like, oof, I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I know how to deal with my gifts. I don't even know how to deal with my powers. This can just be a little overwhelming. And because that kind of energy is there, it creates a block around acceptance. So can we do a few Theta Healing downloads for you? Can we show you? And anybody who wants this can say yes to it to receive the energy as well. Can we show you what it feels like to accept yourself, that it's safe to accept yourself, and that you're allowed to accept yourself without things needing to go out of balance or without going out of balance? Is that okay? What it feels like to stay in balance, be balanced, and be in harmony and peace with yourself, also when you accept yourself, and what that feels like. Would you like that? That feels more peaceful already. Can the creator show you how to be in harmony with your gifts and your powers, also when they unlock? And can we complete any vows, oaths, energetic contracts that your powers kind of need to explode out? But can we complete that through creator and show you how to unlock your gifts and your spiritual power from a place of balance, from a place of ease, from a place of joy and excitement, and how to gradually become more aware and become more confident in them, and how you do that from a place of joy, how to do this from a place of like adventure, of exploration, of discovery, and that is safe and allowed for you. If you like that, just say yes. Yeah, and now feel free to do a bit of the inner work yourself. Discover, go and talk to your inner self and say, hey, how am I feeling around acceptance? What can I do? How can I explore? How can I play with this? Yeah. Okay, Joseph, if you like a message, please put a question in the chat what you'd like a message about. Okay. Ken, as you said, I've started little by little to help others from a different perspective. I do love healing, though. These twists make life interesting. Yeah. And what is also like the healing is like a foundation for you, Ken. And you're quite solid in that foundation of healing. And now it's time to bring other elements in that resonate with you, that excite you, to allow things to open up and become more powerful and more empowering. Yeah. Okay. So we're pretty much through the questions. Now, Joseph, if you have a question, put it in the chat. What I'd like to do is actually take a little moment to introduce you to something that I have been going through. And because you showed up live, you're going to be the first ones to experience it if you'd like to. So, what has happened to me in the last, since pretty much spring last year, is a lot of starseed energy or extraterrestrial energy has been contacting me. And I'd never really been interested in it so much. I appreciated it was there, but it wasn't necessarily for me. And then events kept on happening that kind of steered me in that direction. And at some point, I was like, okay, I don't feel like I can escape this because it keeps coming back. Let's surrender into it. So that's what I've been doing for quite a while. And one of the star seeds that's been contacting me very clearly since the end of last year are the Zaladians. Now, there's very little information known about them, and one of the things that they have been telling me is that I'm meant to spread more of their message, and that I will spread a lot of their information, bring that into this world. So, if you are open, I will connect to them and do a little bit of channeling from them. And if you have a question for the Zaladians, then you can put that in the chat as well, and they will answer it from their perspective. Now, what is important to know is I'm connecting to that energy and I'm letting that energy speak through me. So my voice might change a little bit, my body language might change a little bit. It's not necessarily my personal awareness answering that anymore. It's almost like my personal, like me is stepping back and I'm allowing that energy to flow through and bring the message that they feel like they want to bring or feel like that's need to be brought. So there might be a little bit of information coming from them first. If you have a question for them regarding yourself or regarding things that are happening in the world or whatever you feel like you're intuitively guided to ask, feel free to do so. Okay, give me just a moment to connect. Hello, good day. Wonderful to be with you. And thank you for your time to connect to this channel today and allow us to bring a bit of our energy into this world. First of all, we would like to thank you for being open to receive a little bit of this energy, to receive some of our messages, and also feel into the energy that is coming through. Does this resonate for you or does it not? If it doesn't, just move on and go and do something else because there's no force needed. This is for the people that resonate with this, that feel into it, and that feel like it can contribute to some extent to their journeys. What are these Eladians about? We are an extraterrestrial species who are quite far from Earth, but also being called into Earth to help with the shifts that are happening on Earth. We can call it also a consciousness evolution because a lot of you are going to raise a tremendous amount in your consciousness. For some of you, this journey might be a little more challenging, whilst for others of you, this journey might actually be a lot lighter, and it's almost like you have been waiting for this time to open up because you can feel you can show more of yourself, be more of you who you really are, and the energy is more in alignment with who you are and what you are meant to do on Earth. And that time is also opening up. There is no right or wrong way of doing this. But what is important is to be open to do some of the inner work because that will unlock more of your power, unlock more of who you really are, and also unlock the guidance that is already there for you. But you need to raise to a certain level of energy to be a match with that guidance. Some of you are already doing that, and you're flowing with this. For others, this might be completely new, and you're trying to figure out how to do this. The best way is to trust your intuition and to follow the flow of your energy. What does that mean? You might get little hunches. You might get certain thoughts. Listen to them. Use your awareness and ability to differentiate between the types of thoughts, the energy behind the thoughts, because that will allow you to become aware what kind of energy is coming through at what time. And that will be important as time goes on and as the energy speeds up and things become a little more uncertain. Now be aware, uncertainty isn't bad. Uncertainty can actually be something that is exciting or intriguing or a new journey that is an adventure. So when you see it from that perspective or try to approach it from that perspective, it becomes exciting, it becomes light, and it becomes a lot easier and more fun. The Ziladians are a lot around bringing balance on earth, bringing balance to your energy fields, harmonizing, patience, and from that perspective, move into the joy, move into your purpose on earth. A lot of people are trying to step into their purpose from their rational mind. That makes the journey a little bit more tricky or challenging, or how you might call it, difficult. When you actually first focus on moving into an energy of alignment, an energy of flow, an energy of peace and harmony. And from that perspective and that energy, you allow the higher guidance to come in. You allow yourself to follow your intuition. You allow yourself to act upon your highest excitement. Then it will be so much easier because everything you need will be actually coming on your path. As long as you stay in the right vibration that guides you there. And that right vibration you will be in when you are in the energy of harmony, when you are in the energy of peace, when you actually are in balance. Does that make sense? Thank you for listening to this initial message. We will be back to channel more for you. Now let's move to the questions that you might have for us. Okay, let's have a look at the questions. Creator 8. Hello, Susie. DMS symptoms are quite strong. Mutually, I know which direction I want to go with Chris in terms of our platform project. At the moment, it's unclear how to go on. How can we enable? Are you okay for the Ziladians to answer that? How can you enable your path? All right, Richard. We already felt the energy of your question, and I think what we have shared so far is very much the answer on your question. It's not so much about directly living everything you're meant to live or meant to do. It's much more about finding the balance and harmony first. When you have that as a foundation, everything else will unfold for you thereafter. So allow that to happen first. And then the next steps will unfold. It's almost like you're driving in a car and you might only see the next couple of meters or the next few hundred meters. And thereafter, it's either dark or foggy or it's unclear what will show up. That is a little bit of the journey of humanity. Now, go with that journey, because when you move on, when you go ahead, when you get into the next steps, it will unfold for you and it will become clear. Remember the balance, harmony, and peace. That will help you. Okay. You're welcome, Sparkles. I'm letting this lady in energy go now. First of all, thank you for the Ziladians. If you have a specific questions for the Ziladians, you can put it in the form. When we do a bit of channeling next week, you have two options. You can either just do a normal psychic reading. You can put it in the form. You want a normal psychic reading. Or if you want to have a question that's answered by the Ziladians, you can also put that in the form. And we will invite them back to answer a few more questions for you next week. I really hope this helped. I do thank the Ziladians for coming through. Now, as you know, this is also like, I've been channeling them a bit, but it's also new territory for me to do this live with people, to do it online. So I'm also going through my own processes here, and I hope you can respect that as I grow in this as well. Okay, so let me have a look. You're very welcome, Creator 8. I hope that works for you. I hope that also was helpful for you, Emma, and for everybody who still watched. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing this space to open up and receiving messages. And we're looking forward to seeing you back next week. Have a wonderful week.